Hey guys, and welcome to this video. My name is Kata, and I am talking today about asserting yourself and your values, and knowing how to assert yourself out in the world. And I'm talking about this today because I was speaking with someone earlier who is a therapist and basically expressed to me this issue with assertiveness and how she has a difficult time asserting herself. And and if you're not asserting yourself, then you are kind of just going with the flow all the time. And that could be to your detriment, right? That could be going against you to go with the flow all the time, because the flow, if you're going with other people's flow, not your own flow, then you're definitely going to miss what you actually need, and you're going to be abandoning yourself in that moment. And I'm sharing this again, not just because of who I was speaking to earlier, but because this is something that I've had to learn myself, is how to assert myself and how to be okay with asserting myself, and knowing that people are going to get very uncomfortable when I assert myself and when I stand up to my own beliefs and express those freely. It makes a lot of people very uncomfortable, especially when someone wants you to really go with their flow and really wants you to conform and mold yourself to their liking. That's what we call people pleasing. So don't do that. If someone can't work with you and can't accept you as you are, the way that you show up, and they're constantly trying to get you to conform, then it's not going to be a good fit for you, right? Obviously, that workplace or that person, that situation is not going to be good for you. It's something that you're going to have to get yourself out of. And what I'm going to recommend is to get yourself out of that situation as quickly as possible, because it usually doesn't improve. And the more that we fall into a cycle of people pleasing, and the more that we fall into these rhythms, because it becomes a rhythm of really showing up for people in the way that they want us to show up, what you're doing is you're slowly I just want to think about how I want to say this, because I'm like, you're slowly killing yourself. You're killing a part of yourself. You're ignoring, you're shoving down, and you're completely abandoning. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Abandoning, excuse me, a certain part of yourself. Do you want to abandon that part of yourself? You're going to need to ask yourself this, because if you don't, if you want to stay true to you, if you want to learn how to be authentic in life, then assertiveness is something that's going to have to come with that authenticity. If you look into the world, anyone that is successful, people that do well, they know what they want in life. They are assertive when they need to be, and they go with the flow when they need to go with the flow. But they know that balance, and how you determine the balance of when to go with the flow and when to, assert yourself with something or someone. The way that you figure that out is by listening to your own intuition. This is the only way that I can figure this out for myself, and how I continually figure things out for myself is I'm constantly tuning in with my intuition, and I'm checking in to see if this is something that I want to pursue, I want to do. Is this a time where I need to go with the flow? In this case, it will be better for me and for everyone involved if I go with the flow. Or is this a time when I need to assert myself? I ask myself these questions. I kind of go through a process. And the other thing I'm learning now is to not respond so quickly. Don't just shoot back an answer, because again, that's people pleasing. That's you just wanting to give something to that person. You want to express something because they're expecting an answer back. However, you don't need to rush to give them that answer back. And if you need a day even, or whatever, you need a night to sleep on it. If you need some time to think about something before you say yes, or before you say no, then take that time and think about it. And it's not even thinking about it, it's actually how you feel about it. Because with assertiveness, I've come to understand that I get assertive when I get a very strong feeling within myself that, like, this is not for me, or this is for me, or whatever, or like right now I need to say this. And I'll get a very specific feeling within myself, and that feeling is my intuition talking to me. It's giving me like the little warning signs, right? There's definitely a feeling, and sometimes the feeling can be very subtle, and I find my intuition sometimes is like too quick. Like, it's almost like the intuitive hit comes to me like very quickly, like as soon as something is happening. And if you're not fully like aware of yourself, I find if I'm not fully tuned into myself, then I'll definitely miss it. I'll bypass, like I'll miss that little intuitive hit and I won't listen to it. And that will happen because of this like disconnect, because I'm too in the 3D, I'm too outside of myself and just kind of focusing on what's going on outside of myself. And I'm not actually like tuned in enough. I'm not aligned with myself enough to hear my own intuition and to understand what it's saying. So intuition is really what drives assertion. It's how we become assertive, because the more you listen to your intuition, the more you're going to start to recognize that those intuitive hits are powerful, man. Like they really speak to you. They really say something special, and they are really guiding you down a path that is for your highest and for your best interest. But oftentimes we don't realize that, and we don't know that, that the intuition is doing that because it's trying to support us and is trying to guide us down the right path. So paying attention to yourself, and the way that I'm kind of able to do that more is just being present. Like I try to bring myself back into the present moment constantly, because our brains, I think it's pretty normal. Our brains are constantly actually pulling us out of the present moment. There's always we're either in the past or, pondering on things that have already happened, or we're in the future and constantly, worrying or thinking about the future or like the next step of what we're supposed to be doing or whatever. So that means that you're never actually in the present moment. And if I'm not in the present moment, then I'm not in tune with myself. I'm not paying attention. I'm just not there to actually feel what my intuition is saying to me. And how it's trying to guide me. And this is weird. Like it's important because I find that I have to constantly, like with everything now, I'm constantly checking in with my intuition. And same with people, like even just like I was selling something on Marketplace the other day, and even with that, like the buyer wanted, for us to meet at a certain location, and my intuition, and I like paused for a moment because I was like, almost instinctually, I was just going to go, yeah, sure, no problem. And then I was like, no, hold up. And I paused and I just kind of checked in with myself, and I'm like, is that really the best course of action? Like for me to go and like meet this person, or should I just get them to come to my house and pick up the item here? And when I tuned into myself, it was like when I actually gave myself a minute, the answer came very quickly, and it was like, get her to come here. So that's exactly what I did. And I had the buyer come here and they picked up the item from here. And it actually totally, totally worked out. Like my intuition was so fucking bang on, because we ended up having a pretty good conversation with this person, and, we might collaborate and stuff together. So it was very cool. And I find it really fascinating to experience how the universe is working through us, and how the universe is constantly guiding us, and like how it guides us to each other, and guides us to the right connections, the right people, right? Like I just find that so fascinating. And your intuition is like the key. That's the key to connect you to source. Your intuition and your feelings are what keep you connected, and that's how the universe communicates, to you through you. And that was something it took me a moment to process and understand as well, because that's truth. And that's a truth for me that I 100% believe. And I now have connected the dots, and I realize that my intuition is like my direct line. It's my direct phone line to source. So every time I listen to it, I'm on my path. I'm following the path I'm supposed to be following, and I'm doing what I need to be doing. But that assertiveness in that moment when I decided to have them come and pick up the item at the house versus me going and meeting up with them, the conversation probably still would have happened, but I don't know, I just felt like it was better this way. It was more private. We weren't just in some parking lot somewhere, right? So it really truly worked out in the best and highest possible way for both of us. And it was a wonderful interaction. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's just like one example that I'm using, but there's literally hundreds of examples that I could use of when I've listened to my intuition, and how that really came through in a positive way for me, and how every single time my intuition told me to be assertive and I was assertive, that also really, really worked out for me. So listen to your intuition. That is the main thing that I'm going to suggest, because that's what I've been doing, and that has really helped me to connect to the right people, to the right places, to the right things. And it's also helped me to align to divine timing and to the right timing when it came to doing certain things at a certain time. Really listen to your intuition. It's never going to lead you down a road that isn't good for you. It just won't. It's your guidance system. Like it's what Abraham Hicks always talks about, you know. It is truly our guidance system. It is our source, our direct line to Creator. So why wouldn't you want to use that? It's like a lifeline, you know, just like in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. That's one of your lifelines, actually, is your intuition. So use it and tune into it, and know that being assertive, and when your intuition tells you to be assertive, fucking do it. Don't question it, and just be assertive in that moment. Either way, it's going to play out. You're going to see the result of what that did, of you being in your intuition, right? So give yourself that opportunity and don't shy away from it, because, you know, lessons often repeat. So if you don't learn to be assertive, take it from someone who had to go through this the hard way. If you don't learn to be assertive when you need to be assertive, guess what? That lesson's going to keep coming at you, and people and circumstances are going to keep showing up in your life that are going to force you or try to really instill that lesson within you to become more assertive. So start doing it now. Start doing it today. Listen to your intuition. Go with the flow of your intuition and of your truth, not somebody else's. I don't care if it's a job or a boss or a family member or whoever. It doesn't matter. Really go within yourself to determine how to navigate certain things in certain situations. And I assure you, you will definitely start to see how you're able to create and manifest a life for yourself that truly is peaceful, it's balanced, it feels good to you, it feels good to interact with everyone else when you're able to be assertive. Like, it just really puts you in a place of power where you're no longer giving away your power. And that's huge. That is what needs to stop, and that is what needs to shift, because we all give our power away. We give it away to governments, we give it away to institutions, we give it away to many different people, family, coworkers, all kinds of people. And I think if people became more authentic and more assertive and more aligned with themselves, understanding what their needs are and how those needs need to be met, if people were more aligned to themselves and practice that assertiveness, I think we would have a very, very different world, and we would have a hell of a lot more truth and a heck of a lot more openness and honesty, actually, within our communities. So yeah, that's my observation, my message, my own transformation, and the examples of my life that have to do with assertiveness and trusting my intuition. And I hope this video was very helpful for you. I hope it helped you to identify some things maybe perhaps in your own life that need shifting, and how you can go into your intuition more and start using that as your navigation system. Yeah, drop a comment below if this video was helpful, and definitely hit a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more of this type of content. Thank you so much for watching, for being here. I wish you an absolutely awesome day, and I hope that you have a chance to practice your assertiveness and going with your flow today. Take care, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.